Politics, multiple prominent Democrats made appearances at Friday's world-famous fish fry fundraiser in South Carolina. Democratic Congressman Jim Clyburn hosts the event, which has become a Southern tradition. It started more than 30 years ago to thank campaign workers and volunteers. Also in attendance, Congressman Ro Khanna and Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, who discussed the future of the Democratic Party.
I think what this country needs is courage. I think what this country needs is principle. I think what this country needs is moral clarity. I think it is time we draw on the traditions of the Black South.
Democrats can win again by taking back the middle, and it is there for the taking. Let's show up. Let's get dirt on our boots, and let's govern well. That's how we rebuild the confidence of the American people.
CBS News chief Washington analyst Robert Costa joins us now. So, Bob, what should we make of the presence of Congressman Khanna and Governor Beshear at this event? You know, they definitely were trying to sound stately up there at the podium.
South Carolina is a primary state.
Hey, it's great to be with both of you. It's the least surprising thing in American politics to see a Democrat who's aspiring to maybe run for president to show up in South Carolina, and especially at an event for Congressman Jim Clyburn. Just think back to 2020. President Joe Biden would likely not be president of the United States unless he won that endorsement from Jim Clyburn back in early 2020 when his campaign was on the ropes. Congressman Clyburn stepped in and gave Biden a revival that really lifted him all the way to the nomination. And so all these aspirants, or these possible aspirants, are looking at the race for 2028, and they know it's early, but they want to get a head start.
All right. So last week, also in South Carolina, the Republicans there defied President Trump in blocking a redistricting plan, Robert, that would have dismantled Congressman Clyburn's majority black district. This is sort of notable and perhaps a telling sign of a potential crack in President Trump's grip on the GOP. Do you read it that way, or is this just an anomaly?
Well, this is an interesting situation because in the wake of the Supreme Court's decision on the Voting Rights Act, you're seeing Republican legislatures across the South really start to rethink their maps. And majority-minority districts like that of Congressman Benny Thompson of Mississippi and others down in Alabama and Mississippi really vulnerable to being kind of carved out of existence by legislatures who are reacting to the Supreme Court's decision. But in South Carolina, it looks like Congressman Clyburn is going to be able to keep his seat. And part of this is a political calculation by the Republicans. They don't want in South Carolina to start having all of the Democrats who are very much crowded in the congressman's district suddenly be part of their own districts. So it's really about their own preservation more than trying to keep Congressman Clyburn in office.
Bob, I was just reading quickly about remember when Biden helped change the order, move South Carolina, their primary up? Yep. That still holds for this primary season, right?
Well, it's one of those fluid questions. It's a really good question to raise because President Biden, knowing that South Carolina was so sweet for him politically, wanted it first in 2024, especially as he was facing possible primary challenges. But now it's not exactly set in stone because some states, whether it's New Hampshire, Iowa, South Carolina, Nevada, they can try to hopscotch and get a different spot in line. But at this point, when I spoke to Congressman Clyburn over the weekend, I said, where do you think this is all going? He said he just wants to be first in the South. He wants South Carolina to be a dominant state in the process. Does it have to go before Iowa or New Hampshire? Not necessarily. But South Carolina, democratically, is a place where black voters have enormous sway. And if you're going to be the Democratic nominee, you really need to have a cross-coalition showing in a lot of these primaries. And that's why Congressman Clyburn's confident, even if it's not first, South Carolina will be early and important in the 2028 primary race.
And Bob, just staying on Democrats here, it's been a rough few weeks for the party between, the pan-DNC autopsy, Jill Biden's remarks, which Democrats want to move past, and now you have Graham Plattner and the sexting controversy. What are you hearing from party insiders on their plan to try to move forward?
Well, they don't necessarily look at those metrics and say, oh, that's the party in disarray, because so many Democrats at the highest level of the party, when I speak to them, they say, look, do they like this controversy or that controversy? Of course not. But they don't believe that the 2026 midterms are going to be based on President Biden. They don't believe they're going to be based on Graham Plattner and his personal life. they believe it's going to come down to gas prices and whether the Democrats can make an effective argument or not about affordability in this country. And working Americans, middle-class Americans, upper-middle-class Americans, those who might be feeling the pain at the pump or at the grocery store, those are the voters Democrats believe are vulnerable for Republicans that they can start to make some inroads with. So they're really trying to focus more on making a case against the Trump administration broadly in terms of its character and conduct and on the economy, and hope, in their view, that these other issues don't bubble up and become defining.
All right, Bob Costa.
Bob Costa, always good to have you, my friend. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.